Jai Gurudev, and thank you for joining us today. Today, we are blessed to discuss a very unique and sacred celebration, the Vel Pooja, conducted in the divine presence of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji at the Anugraha Mandap in the Art of Living International Center, Bangalore Ashram, to help us understand the depth, symbolism, and spiritual significance of the ceremony. We have with us an Art of Living expert and an officer of Vedic Dhamma Sansthan. Jai Gurudev, and welcome to you both. So, could you first explain what Vel Puja is and why it is significant? Yes, Jayagurudev, the veil is the divine spear of Lord Murugan, also known as Kartikeya, the son of Lord Shiva and Devi Parvati. It symbolizes the piercing of ignorance and the destruction of negative tendencies. The Vel Puja is a sacred Tamil tradition deeply rooted in the Shaiva and Murugan worship practices of South India. By worshipping the veil, devotees invoke Lord Murugan's blessings for courage, clarity, and spiritual victory. In the presence of Gurudev, the ritual becomes even more powerful because the veil is not just a weapon, it becomes a beacon of divine energy, channeling protection, wisdom, and grace. Exactly. In the ashram, rituals like the Vela Puja are not performed as mere traditions but as living expressions of spirituality. Gurudev always says rituals are the outer expression of the inner silence. When the Vela Puja is performed in Anugraha Mandap, thousands of devotees enter a space of deep silence, devotion, and surrender. The chanting, the offering of flowers, and the invoking of Murugan's grace uplift a collective consciousness. Could you describe how the Vela Puja was conducted at Anugrah Mandap in the ashram? Yes, the ceremony began with Vedic chants and Thirupugazad's hymns in praise of Lord Murugan. The sanctified veil was brought to the Anugrah Mandap amidst the resonant beats of traditional Nadaswaram and Tavel. Priests dressed in traditional attire performed Abhishekam with milk, honey, sandal, paste, turmeric, and sacred waters, each representing purification of different layers of existence. After the Abhishekam, the veil was adorned with silk, garlands, and kumkum, radiating divine energy. Devotees were seated in meditation as Gurudev entered the mandap. The atmosphere shifted instantly. The chanting became deeper, the silence became more profound. Gurudev watched over the ceremony with that compassionate smile, gently raising his hand in blessing. Many people later shared that they felt as though the veil radiated light directly into their hearts. The puja ended with arati, and Gurudev encouraged everyone to take blessings, reminding us that Murugan is the force that removes both inner and outer obstacles. So, how does this ritual connect with the teachings and practices of the art of living? Yes, in the art of living, we emphasize inner purification through Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, and meditation. The wheel represents that sharp awareness which cuts through stress, ignorance, and confusion. Exactly what Gurudev's techniques do for millions. The chanting and rituals prepare the mind for meditation after the puja. Gurudev guided everyone into a deep meditation, making the experience complete. So, the Veda Puja is not separate from our practices, it complements and magnifies them. And from the Vedic perspective, rituals like Vela Puja ensure that the wisdom of the Vedas and the Agamas is preserved and practiced authentically. By conducting it at the ashram with Gurudev's guidance. These traditions are shared with seekers from across the world who may not otherwise experience them. It's a beautiful blend of ancient Vedic wisdom, tradition, and modern spiritual practices. So, what was the atmosphere like among the devotees? Oh, it was electrifying yet serene. Thousands had gathered from children to elders from Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, and also devotees from overseas. The fragrance of flowers, incense, and sandalwood filled the hall. The chants of Veil, Veil, and Muruga, Muruga echoed like waves of devotion. But the most powerful moment was a collective silence after Gurudev asked everyone to close their eyes. In that silence, you could feel Murugan's energy so alive within. And yes, and this is what sets apart rituals conducted in Gurudev's presence. It is not just external grandeur, it's the depth of inner stillness. When thousands meditate together, the ritual becomes a channel for universal upliftment, not just personal prayer. Now, what message did Gurudev give at the conclusion of the Veil Puja? Gurudev spoke with simplicity and depth. He said, the veil is a symbol of wisdom. Just as the spear pierces through darkness, let wisdom pierce through ignorance in your life. When you hold on to purity, courage, and devotion, you are automatically protected. He also reminded us that Murugan is the eternal youth, the energy of enthusiasm and vitality. He encouraged everyone to live with that childlike innocence and warrior like strength. Gurudev also highlighted that honoring all deities, whether Murugan, Shiva, or Devi, ultimately leads to the same supreme consciousness. The Vel Puja is not about sectarian worship, it is about invoking divine qualities within ourselves. Thank you both for this enlightening conversation. The Veela Puja in the divine presence of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji at Anugrah Manta was not just a ritual but a sacred celebration of wisdom, protection, and inner awakening. So, what is the deeper symbolism of the veil as understood in the scriptures? Yes, the veil is not just a weapon, it is a divine knowledge. In the Skanda Purana, the veil was gifted by goddess Parvati to her son Murugan to defeat the demon Surapadman. Symbolically, Surapadman represents arrogance, doubt, and negativity. The veil pierces these impurities, its sharpness signifies clarity of intellect, while its strength reflects unshakable faith. When devotees bow before the veil, they surrender their ego, and what remains is pure awareness. In Gurudev's words, the veil is like awareness in meditation, just as the spear cuts through illusion. Awareness cuts through mental chatter. When we meditate after the veil puja, the mind naturally slips into stillness because the ritual has already prepared the inner field. It is amazing to see how these ancient symbols seamlessly connect with our practices of Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, and silence. Now, could you describe the Abhishekam in more detail and what does each offering represent? Yes, the Abhishekam of the veil was done with various sacred substances: milk for purity and nourishment, honey for sweetness in speech and harmony in relationships, sandal paste for cooling the mind and invoking calmness, turmeric and kumkum for auspiciousness, health, and victory, sacred waters from rivers symbolizing universal cleansing. Each offering is a prayer. May my mind be purified, may my heart be softened, and may my actions be filled with fragrance and sweetness. May my life be auspicious. When Gurudev sat witnessing the Abhishekam, the atmosphere itself became a river of devotion. And remember, when these Abhishekams are performed in a group energy field, the benefits multiply. Gurudev often says that collective chanting and rituals create waves of positive vibrations that reach far beyond the ashram, touching the environment and people worldwide. How was the alankaram or decoration of the veil carried out? Yes, after the Abhishekam, the veil was dried and beautifully decorated. It was wrapped in silk cloth, adorned with garlands of jasmine, marigold, and roses. The priests applied chandan and kumkum, and the base was decorated with lamps and flowers. This decoration is symbolic. It reminds us that the divine, though formless, takes on beauty to connect with the devotees' hearts. The veil shone like a beam of golden light. Many devotees said that simply looking at it filled them with courage and a strange sense of protection. When Gurudev walked around it during Aarti, one could feel that it was not just a decorated spear, it was alive with a divine Shakti. Was there a satsang or special chanting along with the puja? Yes, the atmosphere was vibrant with Thirupugas, hymns, which are devotional songs in Tamil composed by Saint Arunagirinathar in praise of Lord Murugan. Alongside Vedic priests chanted mantras from the Skanda Shashti Kavacham. Then our Art of Living volunteers and teachers led bhajans invoking Murugan, Shiva, and Devi. After the puja, Gurudev guided everyone into meditation, followed by satsang with joyful singing. It was like the ritual merged seamlessly with the Art of Living way, devotion, knowledge, meditation, and celebration. Indeed, the chanting of Skanda Shashti Kavacham is considered highly protective. It was beautiful to see devotees from all over the world who may not understand Tamil still deeply immersed. This is the power of sound vibrations. Language may differ, but devotion unites. Now, what kind of inner experiences did devotees report after the Vel Puja? Many shared that their meditation went unusually deep that day. Some said they felt heat or vibrations in their forehead as though the veil pierced through blockages. Parents said they felt their children became calmer. One foreign devotee from Europe said that though I don't know Murugan or Tamil traditions, I felt a strong warrior energy rise within me, giving me courage to face life. Such experiences are the fruit of devotion combined with the living presence of a master. In the scriptures, it is said that when a ritual is conducted with the presence of a realized being, the blessings multiply a thousandfold. That is why the Vel Puja in Anugrah Mandap is not just another ritual, it's a moment of grace for the entire world. Now, how do you see the relevance of Vel Puja in today's modern world? Yes, in today's world, people face inner demons of stress, fear, and doubt. The symbolism of the veil piercing through negativity is very relevant. It reminds us that courage and clarity are needed to face challenges. When such rituals are conducted, they harmonize the environment and energize communities. And Gurudev has beautifully bridged this gap by conducting ancient rituals like Vel Puja at the ashram alongside modern practices like meditation, Sudarshan Kriya, and service projects. He has shown that spirituality is not outdated, it is timeless. The Vel Puja helps people connect to their roots while simultaneously awakening inner strength to thrive in today's fast paced life. This has been a profound exploration of the Vel Puja from its ritualistic beauty to its inner symbolism and modern day relevance. Thank you both for taking us into the heart of this sacred ceremony conducted in Gurudev's divine presence at Anugraha Mantap. Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, so could you kindly take us through the step by step vidhi of the Vel Puja performed in the Anugraha Mandap? Yes, the Vel Puja followed traditional agamic and Vedic procedures. The sequence was first the Punya Shichanam or the purification. The ritual began with sanctifying the space using Vedic mantras. Priests sprinkled holy water or tirtha around the mandap, invoking purity in the environment and in the minds of devotees. Then the Ganapati Puja, Lord Ganesha was worshipped first with flowers, modaks, and mantras to remove obstacles. This ensures the smooth conduct of the ceremony. Then the Kalasha Sthapana, sacred pots or kalashas filled with holy water decorated with mango leaves and coconut, were placed near the veil. These represent a divine presence, the Avahana or the invocation. The veil was formally invoked as a living presence of Lord Murugan. Priests chanted Skanda Gayatri Mantra and invoked Murugan through the veil, symbolizing him descending into the hall. The Abhishekam or the sacred bath, sequential offerings were poured on the veil of milk, honey, curd, ghee, turmeric water, sandal paste, sacred waters, and vibhuti. Each substance carries symbolic purification of different layers of existence. The alankaram or decoration after Abhishekam, the veil was anointed with chandan and kumkum, wrapped in silk and adorned with garlands of jasmine and roses. Lamps were lit around it, signifying radiance. The archana or offerings, flowers were offered while chanting the 108 names of Lord Murugan or Ashtotara Shatanamavali. Each name is a quality we invoke within ourselves, like valor, wisdom, and compassion. The Naivedyam or the sacred food offering, fruits, coconut, jaggery, payasam, and traditional prasadam were offered, symbolizing gratitude for abundance. The Deep Aradhana or the worship with lamps, a grand arati was performed with camphor, fire, lamps, symbolizing the illumination of wisdom and burning away of ignorance. In the Prasad Vitran distribution, the sanctified offerings were distributed among devotees, carrying the blessings of the ritual. I would add that throughout this vidhi, Gurudev's silent presence magnified the whole experience. For example, during the Abhishekam, as the milk and honey flowed over the veil, Gurudev's eyes closed in deep meditation and the entire hall followed. The silence was so powerful, it felt as though thousands of minds merged into one consciousness. The Vidhi was traditional, but under Gurudev's glance, it became transformational. Now, how important is the chanting during each stage of the puja? Is chanting is the backbone of the puja, the vibrations of Tirupuga's Skanda Shashti Kavacham and Vel Muruga Harohara mantras purify the subtle environment. For example, during Abhishekam, the chant Om Saravan Bhava was repeated, invoking Murugan's sixfold energy. Chanting ensures that every step is not mechanical but infused with life force. Yes, Gurudev often says that chanting aligns the mind with the cosmos during the puja. Even traditional devotees who didn't understand Tamil felt moved by the sound vibrations. Many closed their eyes and meditated, while others joyfully repeated Veil, Veil, and Haro Hara with childlike devotion. The chants connected intellect, heart, and soul in one rhythm. Now, could you explain the significance of Naivedyam offered during the Vel Puja? Yes, the Naivedyam included coconut, jaggery, puffed rice, payasam, and fruits. Each food has meaning. Coconut for purity, jaggery for sweetness and life, puffed rice for simplicity, and payasam for prosperity, and fruits for gratitude towards nature. By offering these, we acknowledge that all nourishment comes from the divine and we return it symbolically. And interestingly, Gurudev always emphasizes food as prasad, not just nutrition. When devotees partook of the Naivedyam later, they didn't just eat, they felt blessed. Many said the payasam tasted unusually sweet, as if infused with Murugan's blessings. Oh, how was the Deep Aradhana and final conclusion conducted? The Arati was the climax. A priest waved camphor flames and large brass lamps in circular motions before the veil, while conch shells were blown, drums beaten, and bells rung. This symbolizes dispelling darkness and invoking divine brilliance. When the lamps were raised, Gurudev stood up and raised his hand in blessing. Thousands of people folded hands, tears in their eyes, chanting Muruga, Muruga. The energy was overwhelming. After the Aarti, Gurudev led a short meditation, making the conclusion not just external but deeply internalized. The ritual ended, but the silence stayed with devotees for hours. Now, what happened after the puja was their satsang or darshan? Yes, after the puja, Gurudev gave darshan to devotees. People came one by one, offering flowers or bowing down. Then the evening transitioned into a grand satsang with bhajans dedicated to Murugan, Shiva, and Devi. Gurudev spoke briefly on the significance of veil as the spear of wisdom that cuts through confusion. Finally, the prasadam was distributed, and I must say, the ashram itself seemed to transform. The air was charged, birds chirped unusually loud, and even the breeze carried fragrance. This is the beauty of puja and Gurudev's presence. Its effect lingers in nature and in people's hearts long after the ritual ends. So, how deeply is Vel Puja rooted in Tamil culture and tradition? As the Vel Puja is at the heart of Tamil spiritual tradition in Tamil Nadu. Lord Murugan is considered the Tamil Kadavul, or the presiding deity of Tamil culture. From the Sangam era more than 2000 years ago, Murugan worship has been central. The veil gifted to Murugan by goddess Parvati is worshipped in temples and homes as a symbol of protection and wisdom. Even today, families perform Vel Puja during Skanda Shashti and Thai Pusam. In villages, processions carrying the veil unite entire communities. Yes, and when this tradition was brought into the ashram, Gurudev beautifully honored its cultural depth. The Vel Puja was not just a ritual, it became a way for devotees worldwide to experience the soul of Tamil culture. It was so moving to see Tamil bhajans like Kanda Shashti Kavacham being sung alongside Art of Living Satsang bhajans, bridging ancient Tamil devotion with the modern global spirituality. Now, could you share some historical references of whale worship in Tamil Nadu? Yes, Jayagrudev, historically, whale worship can be traced back to the Sangam texts like Paripadal and Sila Padikaram. In these works, Murugan is always described with his whale, the divine spear. During the reign of the Chera, Chola, and Pandya dynasties, Murugan temples were built with the whale as their central icon. The Palani Murugan temple, one of the six abodes, or the Arupadai Vidu of Murugan, conducts whale Abhishekam every day. Similarly, Tiruchendur temple celebrates Vel Puja during Skanda Shashti with a great grandeur. Even in Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and Singapore, Tamil diaspora communities celebrate Thai Pusam by carrying the veil in Kavadi processions. What struck me during the ashram puja was how Gurudev honored these living traditions. The priests used the same chants preserved for centuries, and the instruments of Nadaswaram and Tawal resonated just as they have in Tamil temples for millennia. Yet Gurudev made it universal. People from Russia, Argentina, and Africa sat in silence, feeling Murugan's energy without knowing the history. That's the beauty tradition kept alive, yet made global. Now, how do Tamil rituals like Whale Puja influence the art of living's spiritual ecosystem? Tamil rituals are deeply symbolic and rich in devotion. They bring color, rhythm, and emotional connection to spirituality. In the ashram, Gurudev has always encouraged honoring every culture, be it Tamil Murugan worship, Karnataka's Devi Homas, Kerala's Ayappa traditions, or North Indian Ram Katha. By performing Vel Puja, the Tamil tradition was celebrated and it added a new dimension of devotion to the ashram. For our international devotees, it was like entering into the living museum of Tamil spirituality. Exactly, and rituals like Vel Pooja are not bound by language. Tamil culture has always seen Murugan as an embodiment of youth, courage, and poetry. Performing this in the ashram not only preserved Tamil heritage but also made seekers understand that the Vedic Dharma is not fragmented. It flows through many rivers, whether Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, or Sanskrit traditions. Gurudev integrates them into one ocean of spirituality. Now, could you highlight the poetic and musical aspect of Veil worship and Tamil culture? Yes, Jayagurudev Tamil culture expresses Murugan's glory through poetry and music. Saints like Arunagiri Nadar composed the Thirupukas filled with devotion and complex rhythmic patterns during Vel Puja in the ashram. These hymns were sung with the same fervor as they have been for centuries in Tamil Nadu. The sound of Victory to the Veil carried the entire Anugrah Mantap into ecstasy. And this is where Gurudev's satsang culture blends so beautifully. Tamil bhajans merged with Hindi, Sanskrit, and even English bhajans. The universality of music brought everyone together. I saw Tamil devotees crying with devotion as they sang Tirupukas while foreigners clapped and swayed without knowing the meaning. Gurudev smiled and said, music is the language of the heart, it needs no translation. Now, how does Gurudev connect the historic Vel Puja with today's spiritual seekers? Gurudev explained that the veil is not limited to Murugan worship alone, it represents the sharpness of awareness needed in every seeker's journey. He said, the veil is in you, your awareness, your clarity, your innocence. That is the real veil. Worship and let it guide you. This way, a Tamil cultural ritual became a universal message for seekers of all backgrounds. Yes, and historically, Murugan has always been the deity of youth, poetry, and warriorship. Gurudev reinterpreted it for today, where the battle is against stress, negativity, and ignorance. In this sense, Gurudev preserved Tamil tradition while also making it relevant for the modern spiritual warrior. Thus, the Vel Puja at Anugramanta became more than a ritual, it became a bridge connecting ancient Tamil heritage with the modern seekers across the world, all under the luminous presence of Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Ji. Jai Gurudev, so during the Vel Puja, many Tamil hymns were sung. Could you share some of these prayers and their meanings line by line? Yes, one of the most famous hymns sung in Vel Puja is from the Skanda Shashti Kavacham and Thirupugas. Let me recite a few lines for from the Skanda Shashti Kavacham invocation to the Vel. It's called Velayudham Tangiya Velava, Velava Vetri Velava. So, O Lord, who carries the veil as your weapon, O Murugan, O bearer of the victorious veil, we bow to you. This is often chanted rhythmically during the puja. The veil is seen not only as a weapon but as the divine force that guarantees victory or victory over darkness, doubts, and suffering. Jai Gurudev. So when this was sung in the Anugrah Mantab, the energy was electrifying. Thousands repeated the Vetri Veil, Veera Veil, and it felt as though Murugan himself had descended. Gurudev smiled and said, victory is not outside, it is when the mind conquers itself. The Thirupugas, the Arunagirinathars' poetry of Arulai, Tandurulavai, Muruga, Arul, Perugum, Thiru, Velava. Grant me your grace, O Muruga, O divine veil, the source of overflowing compassion. Shower your blessings on us. Your veil is addressed as the embodiment of compassion. The devotee seeks grace or Arul to fill the heart with wisdom and love. Historically, Arunagirinadhar, the saint who composed Tirupugas, was saved by Lord Murugan himself. His hymns are deeply poetic, blending devotion with rhythm. Chanting these in Tamil during Vel Puja is like invoking centuries of saintly vibrations. Now, could you explain a few lines from the Skanda Shashti Kavacham, which is often recited during Vel Puja? Yes, here is a beautiful passage. Vel unnai kondadi ergal vidhi enduvum adhaire. Those who hold on to you, O Vel, no fate or destiny can bind you. This prayer reflects the Tamil belief that surrendering to the veil transcends karma itself. The veil is seen as a divine shield that frees devotees from planetary afflictions and fate driven suffering. Gurudev beautifully linked this to meditation. He said, when awareness veil is sharp, fate has no power over you. You become the master of your destiny. the Vel Muruga Harohara chant or the Vel Muruga Harohara, Vetri Vel Muruga Harohara. O Muruga with the Vel Harohara, the remover of sins. O victorious Muruga Harohara, protect us. This is usually sung in repetition, almost like a mantra, creating a trance like devotional energy. During the Ashram Puja, when this chant was sung with drums and Nadaswaram, the entire hall vibrated with warrior like energy. Even children were jumping and chanting Vetri Veil. It was devotion with dynamism, just as the Murugan represents youth and valor. So, what is the role of Tamil Bhakti poetry in making Vel Puja alive? Yes, Tamil Bhakti poetry is the soul of Vel Puja, from Thirupugas to Skanda Shashti Kavacham. Each verse is a blend of devotion, rhythm, and philosophy. They are sung not just to praise Murugan but to purify the heart and awaken inner strength. In fact, in Tamil culture, poetry and prayer are inseparable. And Gurudev often reminds us bhakti is not just emotion, it is poetry of the soul. By singing these hymns in Tamil, devotees connected with their roots while non-Tamil devotees experience the raw power of sound vibrations. The ashram became a temple of both tradition and universality. Now we have been exploring the Vel Puja in such depth. Now could you kindly continue explaining some of the beautiful Tamil prayers, their line by line meaning, and how they are sung during the ritual? Yes, one of the core prayers chanted during Vel Puja is the Vel Maral, a devotional hymn where each line venerates Lord Murugan's Vel. Let us take a few lines. The Velava Unnai Kandin en Ullam Anandamaye Nindare. O veil bearing God, I have seen you, and my heart now stands immersed in this. This line expresses the darshan one receives of Lord Murugan's veil in the puja. The devotee feels that the mere sight of the divine weapon is enough to fill the soul with the ecstasy. Gurudev often reminds us that devotion is not just in elaborate rituals but in this bhava, the feeling of connection. When such verses are sung in Tamil, though simple, they awaken a spontaneous joy. In the Anugrah mantra, when these lines were chanted, one could see people entering a meditative silence naturally after the chorus ended. Another powerful line comes from the Kandashashti Kavacham, which is often woven into the Vel Puja chants. The Suranai Konara Velava Supramanya Velava, O Veil, that vanquished the demon Sura of divine spear of Lord Subramanya. This recalls the story of Lord Murugan's battle with Sura Padman. The veil here is not just a weapon, it symbolizes knowledge piercing through ignorance. That is very profound. Now, Gurudev has often explained that the destruction of Asuras is nothing but the destruction of negativity within us. When people chant this prayer, the veil becomes an inner tool, a sharp awareness that removes doubts, fear, and confusion. Let us take another passage which is softer and devotional in tone. The Vele enaye kapaye vali tavara da padi nattataye. O Vale, protect me, guide me, so I may never lose my path. This expresses the intimate relationship of a devotee with the veil, not as a distant power, but as a close guardian guarding daily life. This is where Tamil devotional poetry shines. It is at once heroic and tender. In the Vel Puja conducted in Gurudev's presence, such lines were sung slowly with deep feeling. One could sense that people were surrendering their burdens almost as if laying them at the feet of the veil. Historically, these prayers were sung by devotees in Tamil Nadu during Kandashashti Vratam in the Art of Living ashram. By integrating these authentic verses with the universal approach of Gurudev, the ceremony gained both cultural rootedness and spiritual universality. Now, could you give us one more set of lines, maybe a verse with the poetic beauty and its deep meaning? Yes, Muttaya Vele and Manadil Oli Tarum Tevyame. Oh, pearl like shining veil, oh divine power that gives light in my mind. Here, the veil is compared to a lustrous pearl, symbolizing purity and brilliance. It is invoked as the light of wisdom that dispels the darkness of ignorance. This verse is special during the Veil Puja in Anugrah Mandap when such descriptions were sung, the lighting of lamps and the waving of Deep Aarti coincided. The atmosphere was breathtaking, flames dancing, chants reverberating, and a collective silence setting in the hearts. Now, we have been exploring the deep connection between Vel Pooja, Tamil culture, and the significance of the hymns. Now, could you now take us through more Tamil verses traditionally sung during Vel Pooja with their English meaning so we can understand the line by line depth? Yes, let us look at another important hymn often sung during Vel Puja. It's called Vel Muruga, Velayadane Arulavai. O Lord Muruga, with the divine spear, veil, O bearer of the veil, shower your grace upon us. This simple yet a powerful invocation repeats the name of Muruga with the veil emphasizing surrender. The repetition acts like a mantra, calming the mind, aligning the heart with devotion and invoking protection. In the presence of Gurudev, chanting this brings an atmosphere of silence and strength simultaneously. Adding to this, in Arafiving courses, Gurudev often highlights the power of repetition or japa, just as Sudarshan Kriya uses rhythmic breathing patterns to settle the mind. Repeating Vel Murga carries the energy of mantra vibration. It reduces anxiety, purifies emotions, and strengthens resolve. Let us move to another prayer that carries both poetic beauty and devotional intensity. Dasira Puddaya Velava, Siddhitarum Gaurava, Siriane Periane, Sintai Nantavaga. O glorious well bearer, O Guru who bestows siddhis or spiritual accomplishments, you are both the small and the great, the finite and the infinite. May you live forever in our hearts. This prayer beautifully merges philosophy with devotion. It recognizes Lord Muruga as both the child god or a Siriane or small and the cosmic force Periane or the gate. It also addresses him as Guru, highlighting his role as the eternal guide and bestows inner mastery. The last line is a prayer that the divine presence remains permanently within the devotee's consciousness. Notice how this verse connects with Gurudev's teachings that the divine is both personal and impersonal, finite and infinite. In Vela Puja, devotees directly feel Muruga as a child in their heart, yet at the same time they recognize him as the vast cosmic Shakti. This duality dissolves the ego and expands the awareness. Another crucial prayer comes as a blessing chant. Velva Tumban Thoika Velva Neelam Aruvai Velva Pakayal Alika Velva Kaparuvai. O veil bearer, remove our sorrows. O veil bearer, grant us well being. O veil bearer, destroy our inner and outer enemies. O veil bearer, protect us always. This is a direct prayer for relief, strength, and protection. Tunban refers to sufferings and afflictions. Nalam is well being and health. Pakai are enemies, both external adversaries and inner negativities like anger, jealousy, and doubt. This prayer encapsulates the entire purpose of veil worship, removal of darkness, and protection of the devotee. Gurudev, interestingly, Gurudev often says the greatest enemy is within. This verse resonates with that truth. While devotees may ask Muruga to protect them from outer challenges, the deeper prayer is for liberation from inner enemies. This is, and that is exactly what pranayama, meditation, and veil symbolism achieve by cleansing inner negativity and opening the heart to strength and compassion. This is deeply moving. Could you both take us further into how such prayers are sung during the Vel Puja at the ashram in Gurudev's presence? Yes, during the Vela Puja at Anugrah Mandap, the priests chant these Tamil hymns melodiously accompanied by Nadaswaram or traditional temple wind instrument and thawil or drum. Devotees join in with the soft repetition. The entire hall vibrates with devotion. The veil is worshipped with abhishekam of milk, curd, honey, ghee, sandal paste, and water are poured over it. Each abhishekam is accompanied by one of these chants, and when Gurudev is present, his silence magnifies the energy. The chants atop stop at intervals, and a deep silence is experienced. That silence is Muruga himself, the eternal veil piercing through noise into stillness. This is why participants feel both energized and peaceful after Veil Puja. We have beautifully explored the deeper meaning of the veil through prayers and verses. Now, can you please continue with more Tamil hymns chanted during the Veil Puja and explain them line by line in English? Yes, another hymn often sung during the Veil Puja is from the Kandar Alankaram, composed by Saint Arunagirindar. Let us take one verse of Velaya Devinaya Yendi Vandaya. O Lord Muruga, you arrived carrying the veil in your hand, blessing all beings with divine power. Vendan Makane Muruga, O Muruga, you are the son of the great Lord Shiva, the king of the cosmos. Palay Amudaye Paramporalay. You are like milk, nourishing like nectar, immortalizing, and you are the supreme reality of Paramporal beyond form. Pasa Mudale Kugane, O Guha, the one who resides in the cave of the heart. You are the primordial fruit, the very source of creation. So, what is very moving is how these verses, when chanted in the Anugrah Mandap in presence of Gurudev, create a vibration of purity. The sound Vilay itself strikes with energy, and Gurudev often says the sound is not just communication, it is transformation. When these Tamil prayers are sung, the veil is not seen as a weapon but as a beam of consciousness cutting ignorance. Now, could you share another traditional line often sung during Vel Puja? Yes, from Subramanya Bhujangam by Adi Sankaracharya, often recited in Tamil homes during Vel Puja. Sada Bala Rupam, Sada Divya Rupam, Sada Bhakta Kalpadru Madhar Rupam, Sada Shankarastyati Putram Ganesham, Sada Tvam Mahesham Putram Mahantam. So, for the Sada Balarupam, you are ever youthful in form, symbolizing eternal freshness. Sada Devya Rupam, you are ever divine in appearance, radiating purity. Sada Bhakti Kalpadram Dara Rupam, you are the wish fulfilling tree. To your devotees, showering boons, Sada Tvam Mahesha Putram Mahatmam. O great soul, you are eternally the son of Maheshwara or Shiva. The chanting of these verses during Vel Puja connects Tamil devotional culture with the Vedic lineage. Gurudev's presence amplifies us just sitting silently. While these are sung, one feels a deep union of Tamil Bhakti tradition and the universal Vedic knowledge. So, the first Vel Puja in the divine presence of Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji. Today, we continue our sacred conversation about the historic Vel Puja that took place in Anugrah Mantap at the Art of Living International Center in Bangalore Ashram on the 19th of August on Tuesday. It was the first time ever that such a ritual was performed publicly in the presence of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji. Can you share how this moment unfolded? Yes, the entire atmosphere was charged with devotion. The Anugrah Mantra was decorated with flowers, lamps, and rangoli. Inspired by Tamil traditions, devotees had gathered from Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, and even from abroad. For many, it was a fulfillment of a lifelong dream to witness the Vel Puja not in a traditional temple alone, but in the presence of Gurudev, who embodies living divinity. When the silver veil was brought and placed before Gurudev, there was pin drop silence. Gurudev himself sat gracefully, radiating serenity, his presence amplifying the sanctity of the ritual. The priests, along with the Vedic Dharma Shastra and Sansthan officers, chanted Vedic mantras in unison with the Tamil Kavacham verses. The sound vibration created a protective and uplifting aura. Yes, this was indeed historic. Traditionally, Vel Puja is done in Murugan temples like Palani, Swami Malai, or Tiruchendur. But here, for the first time in Gurudev's ashram, it became a sangam or confluence of Vedic tradition, Tamil culture, and global spirituality. Gurudev's presence elevated the puja into a universal spiritual celebration. The priests began with the Ganapati Humam for removal of obstacles, then invoked the Subramanya Swami through the veil, each offering flowers, sandal paste, kumkum abhishekam with milk, honey, and vibhuti was performed with deep chanting. Gurudev watched with a gentle smile, blessing each step. So, how was the experience for devotees present? Many devotees went into deep meditation just by being there. Some had tears flowing when the Tamil hymns like Kandara Shasti Kavacham were sung. People felt that Murugan himself was present in the veil, and Gurudev's presence amplified the divinity for the Tamil devotees. It was overwhelming. Many said that they had never imagined witnessing such a ritual in Bangalore in their Guru's presence with so much authenticity and reverence. What touched me most was Gurudev's gesture after the Vel Puja. Gurudev himself sprinkled Abhisheka Tirtham or the sacred water on the devotees. That moment was powerful. It symbolized that Murugan's blessings were being carried forward to the hands of a living master. People bowed down, some touched Gurudev's feet, some chanted Vel Vel and Om Namah Shivaya together. The atmosphere was electric with devotion. So it was not just a ritual but a unique spiritual happening. Absolutely, for the first time ever, the Vel Puja transcended its cultural boundaries and became a universal prayer for protection, strength, and victory of Dharma under Gurudev's loving guidance. Devotees felt that the veil was no longer a symbol limited to one tradition but a universal weapon of light. protecting all seekers on their spiritual journey. This puja will be remembered in history as a milestone where Tamil tradition met global spirituality under Gurudev's compassionate vision. It was as though Lord Murugan and Gurudev merged in one presence, blessing the entire world. The more we hear about this, the more it feels historic. Now, could you share how it felt to witness the Vel Puja being performed for the first time ever publicly in the presence of His Holiness Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar Ji at the Anugrah Mandap? It was beyond words. Normally, Vel Puja has always been conducted in temples of Tamil Nadu and in private homes with deep devotion, but to have it performed at the Art of Living International Center, where seekers from across the world had gathered, was unique. Gurudev was seated gracefully in silence, his mere presence elevating the entire ritual. The veil was decorated with turmeric, sandal paste, and kumkum wrapped in silk cloth and adorned with garlands. The moment the first Thavel beats and Nadaswaram sounds filled the hall, one could sense the ancient Tamil energy merging with the universal silence of the ashram. Yes, it was deeply symbolic. Gurudev's ashram has been a confluence of all traditions: Rig Veda chants, Bhagavad Gita recitations, Lalita Sahasranama, Vishnu Sahasranama, Guru Gita, Sundarkand, Buddhist and Jain prayers, and now the Vel Puja. This was the first time ever the Vel Puja was brought to the public space here in Gurudev's presence. It showed that the Tamil culture, which reveres Lord Murugan as the embodiment of wisdom and victory, has a place in the very heart of Sanatan Dharma's global renaissance. Now, could you describe the actual performance, the sequence of rituals on that day? Yes, the Vel Puja Vidhi began with purification of the space by sprinkling sanctified water and chanting the Ganapati Atharva Shirsham. The veil was placed upright on a decorated pedestal symbolizing divine presence. Priests chanted the Kandeshashti Kavacham and Subramanya Bhujangam in Tamil and Sanskrit. The devotees sang Harohara with such energy that the entire mandap reverberated. Gurudev sat silently, his eyes gently closed, radiating such stillness that even the priests bowed again and again after each segment of chanting. After the Abhishekam with milk, honey, turmeric, water, and vibhuti, the veil was offered a deepam and nevedyam, traditional items such as pasam or fruits, and panagam or jaggery, water, and vadamalai or a garland made of medu vadas and Tamil offering were offered in the devotional songs in Tamil continued, each line explaining Murugan's grace, courage, and blessings. For the first time, hundreds of seekers from across languages listened to Tamil Bhakti in the ashram, and Gurudev himself remarked, "This is the strength of our culture. So many traditions, yet one essence." You must have been deeply emotional. That must have been a deeply emotional moment for Tamil devotees. Absolutely, many senior devotees from Tamil Nadu had tears in their eyes. One said, "For years, I have prayed to see Murugan Puja in the presence of a living master. Today, I have seen it. The veil itself, shining with kumkum and sandal paste, looked alive as if Murugan himself was standing there blessing the devotees. And Gurudev's silent acknowledgement made the entire space charged. People experienced goosebumps. Some went into deep meditation spontaneously, and others felt waves of devotion rising like never before. From a dharmic perspective, this was historic. For centuries, the veil has been worshipped in temples, hill shrines, and in village deities festivals, but here at the global stage of Art of Living Ashram, the veil puja was performed with perfect Vedic rituals, Tamil Bhakti songs, and under the direct rays of a world spiritual leader. It was a moment of revival, showing that Tamil traditions are not regional but universal in their power to awaken devotion and courage. So one can say this was not just a ritual but a new chapter. Exactly, it was a Prathama or the very first Vel Puja in Gurudev's divine presence, opening a new doorway. Now, Vel Puja is not only for Tamil Nadu but it belongs to the world because Gurudev has blessed it. Devotees felt that from this day forward, wherever Vel Puja happens, it carries the vibrations of the ashram and Gurudev's grace. One fascinating aspect of the Vel Puja at the Art of Living International Center was how people from across the globe, many of whom had no prior exposure to Tamil culture or language, were deeply moved. Could you share how that connection unfolded despite the linguistic and cultural barriers? This was indeed one of the most profound experiences. Imagine thousands of people seated in Anugrah Mandap from America, Europe, Africa, and Asia, many of them with absolutely no idea of Tamil literature. Yet, when the Tamil chants began, Something stirred within. This is the unique power of sound. Gurudev often reminds us that the vibration of a mantra transcends meaning. You don't need to understand in order to experience the resonance of the Vale chants carried such depth, devotion, and intensity that hearts opened naturally. People reported tears flowing, goosebumps rising, and a sense of deep inner silence, even though they couldn't grasp the words. Exactly, the Tamil Vale prayers like Vale, Vale, Vetri Vale, O Spear of Victory, Divine Vale carry centuries of accumulated energy of devotion. They are not just linguistic expressions, but Nad Brahman or divine vibrations in sound. When sung in unison, accompanied by instruments like the tawil and nadaswaram, the entire hall vibrated with energy. The words entered as rhythm, as feeling rather than as grammar. Many foreigners came after the puja and said, I didn't understand a single word, but I felt very syllable in my soul. This is the beauty of Tamil chants, ancient, powerful, and universal. Now, could you share an example of one such verse chanted with its English explanation so readers can see how the connection goes beyond language? One of the most beloved invocations was Vel Mayalin Vaganame Veera Vikrame Subramanye Anbin Arulai Tharuvaye Arul Vel Varuyaye. O Vale, mounted on the peacock, O brave the valorous Subramanya, grant us the grace of love. Come, O Vale of compassion, showering blessings. Here, the imagery is both poetic and symbolic. The peacock signifies beauty and victory over pride. The veil signifies divine knowledge piercing through ignorance, and Lord Subramanya is invoked as a bestower of courage and wisdom. Even those who didn't know Tamil could see the peacock, feel the valor, and experience a prayer for grace. And this is exactly how Tamil culture has preserved universality. The rhythm and repetition, like veil, 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 work like a mantra. The sound penetrates the consciousness. Gurudev, sitting in silence, allowed the chants to echo and magnify. His presence acted like a magnifying lens of what people might experience in a small way, suddenly multiplied a hundredfold. This made even non Tamilians deeply immersed. So, in a sense, Vel Puja showed how a local cultural tradition could turn into a universal spiritual experience under Gurudev's guidance. Precisely, Gurudev created the bridge. Tamil devotees felt their heritage honored on a global stage, while non Tamil devotees felt initiated into a sacred rhythm that belonged to humanity as a whole. This is the hallmark of Gurudev's vision. Every tradition, every language, every culture finds a space at the ashram, and yet it doesn't remain limited, it expands to become everyone's. Now, one of the most beautiful things witnessed during the Vel Puja in Gurudev's presence was how people from across the globe, many who did not even know a single word of Tamil, were still deeply moved and connected. How do you explain this phenomenon? Yes, this is and that is the grace of Gurudev and the power of sound. In our tradition, the Nad Brahman, the sound itself is seen as divine. Tamil chants, especially those dedicated to Lord Murugan, are not mere words, they carry vibration, devotion, and centuries of collective energy, even if someone doesn't understand the literal meaning. The sound waves reach deep into the consciousness when Gurudev sat, eyes closed, receiving the Veil Puja. His silence amplified the vibrations. People from Russia, Germany, Africa, and the Americas said tears rolled down without knowing why. That is how mantras transcend language. Exactly, language is like a vessel, but devotion is a river flowing through it. Tamil has one of the oldest living literary traditions, and Veil Puja prayers such as Veil Veil Vetri Veil carry tremendous energy. Ranik, who was narrating and explaining line by line, in English acted as a bridge. He would chant one verse in Tamil, let the sound sink in, and then explain the meaning like, O whale, the shining spear of Murugan, you cut through ignorance, you give us victory over obstacles. Instantly, everyone felt included. Now, could you give an example of how a chant and its explanation brought such connection? Yes, take the line often repeated of O whale, victorious whale, O brave whale, you destroy karma and remove obstacles. Now, even if a German devotee didn't know Tamil, when they heard a rhythm and then understood this prayer is asking for inner victory and freedom from negativity, they immediately related it to their own struggles of stress, confusion, and blocks in life. They could feel that the veil was not just a weapon but a symbol of clarity piercing through ignorance. And when Gurudev himself himself smiled and gently raised the hand in blessing. As the chant echoed, the entire hall vibrated. People closed their eyes, and suddenly there was no barrier of language. Tamil chants became universal prayers. This is the miracle of Sanatan Dharma. It unites, it does not divide. So, even though the cultural root was Tamil, the experience was global. Absolutely, the Vel Pooja in Anugrah Banta became a global satsang. The Tamil devotees saw their heritage honored in Gurudev's presence. The non Tamil devotees felt they were being introduced to an ancient treasure with warmth and clarity. Everyone was chanting together, clapping, swaying. Some even said it felt like the chants were dissolving boundaries of mind and heart. It was a history being made because never before had Vel Puja been performed in such a large multicultural gathering with Gurudev as the center of energy. The Tamil culture reached the world stage in the most authentic devotional way. Many devotees recall that when Gurudev himself spoke in Tamil during the Vel Puja, the atmosphere shifted completely. Could you share how that moment unfolded? Yes, it was something truly divine. Usually, Gurudev speaks in English or Hindi when addressing the international gathering at the ashram. But on that sacred day of Vel Puja, after the chants and offerings, Gurudev spontaneously started speaking in Tamil. The very sound of his Tamil words was electrifying for the Tamil devotees. It was as though Murugan himself was speaking through Gurudev. For others, even if they did not know the language, the vibration and the intonation penetrated deep within. Exactly, you see, in Sanatan Dharma, Nada, the sound is as important as the meaning. Gurudev's Tamil carried the vibration of devotion, ancient memory, and divine love, and he uttered phrases like Veil is a symbol of wisdom that pierces ignorance. In Tamil, the crowd erupted with a wave of devotion. People who never heard Tamil before could still feel the sweetness and authority in the sound. It was not just communication, it was transmission. So, how did that charge the atmosphere during the puja? Yes, the whole Anugrah Mandapam vibrated like a temple at the peak of Arupadai Vedu festival. When Gurudev said in Tamil, Veil Kakum Vaigai Nan Irukirin, I am present in the way the veil protects. Many devotees broke into tears. The drums, the chanting, the lamps, and Gurudev's presence merged into one crescendo. It was not a mere ritual anymore, it became a living experience of Lord Murugan's darshan. People felt goosebumps. Many reported that they could feel an actual energy piercing through their forehead, clearing heaviness or confusion. And one must understand this was historic, the first time Vel Puja was ever performed publicly in Gurudev's presence in such grandeur. By speaking in Tamil, Gurudev honored the very soil and culture from where this tradition arose. He bridged the gap between ancient Tamil bhakti and modern seekers who may never have encountered Murugan worship before. The atmosphere was charged not only with devotion but also with inclusivity. It felt like Tamil Nadu had come alive in the heart of Karnataka and the entire world was being invited into its sanctity. That must have been unforgettable. Yes, unforgettable and transformative. Even now, when devotees narrate the incident, their eyes fill with tears. Many said, even without knowing Tamil, I understood everything with my heart. That is the power of Gurudev's presence. He makes language secondary and vibration primary. Jai Gurudev. Thank you.